All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something absolutely critical in cybersecurity: data integrity. I mean, we live in a world where digital records are basically everything, right? So, how can you be 100% certain that your data is real and completely unaltered? Let's get into it.
And really, this is the fundamental question. Think about it. We are all swimming in a sea of security data, logs, alerts, all of it. But when it really matters, during a critical audit or a tense forensic investigation, how do you prove that data hasn't been messed with? How do you prove it's the real, unaltered truth?
And that right there is the key. For anyone who's an IT manager, a security analyst, a compliance officer, those security logs are so much more than just data points. They are the official record. They're evidence. And if that evidence can be called into question, well, your entire security posture is basically built on sand.
So, how in the world do you solve this? Well, there's a really powerful approach from the DEEPSEcurity Evidence Center, and it's all built around this elegant concept they call truth status.
Now, the key phrase to lock onto here is tamper evident. Notice it doesn't say tamper proof. The idea isn't that nobody can ever touch the data. It's that if they do, you will know. It's like a cryptographic seal that guarantees your data's history is verifiable and completely intact, from the second it was created to the second you're looking at it. So when you actually look at the platform's dashboard, this is what you're aiming for: an integrity score of 100. And this is not just some feel-good number, okay? It means you have a perfect, unbroken, cryptographic chain of evidence for all your system records. It's a perfect score for provability. And right alongside that score, you see this word verified. Just like the score, this isn't some static label. It's the live result of a constant ongoing audit that's always confirming that your system's current state perfectly matches its unchangeable recorded history. It's cryptographic proof that everything is clean. Okay, so this all sounds awesome, right? But how does it actually work? How does the system generate this truth status for all of your security data? Let's pop the hood for a second and take a look inside the Evidence Center. The process is actually surprisingly simple when you break it down. First, a user authenticates, and the system loads the existing evidence chain. Then it fetches any new data, say the latest logs from Microsoft Defender. Next, and this is the important part, it cryptographically hashes that new data and chains it to the previous record. And finally, it's just continuously auditing that entire chain to make sure its integrity is perfect. And honestly, the best way to think about this is like a digital chain of custody. You've probably read that term in legal shows, right? It proves a piece of physical evidence wasn't tampered with. Well, this system does the exact same thing, but for your digital records, creating a verifiable, unbreakable chain of digital custody. And this is how that chain is actually built. Each and every record gets a unique digital fingerprint. That's a hash. But here's the magic. The hash for record 104 is mathematically linked to the hash of record 103. And then 105 is linked to 104, and on it goes. So if you try to go back and alter even a single byte in record 103, the entire chain breaks from that point forward, and the system knows instantly. And a really important point here is that this isn't some secret black box. The whole system is built on transparency. The entire chain of evidence is stored as clear, on-disk audit logs. They're designed so that you or any third-party auditor can verify them. The proof is right there for anyone who needs to see it. In fact, check this out. The raw hash chain logs are stored right there on the local file system. What this means is that if you ever need to do a deep forensic review, you can go directly to the source of truth yourself and independently verify the integrity of the entire chain. Okay, so this leads us to a super important point: the guarantee. We need to be crystal clear about what this system actually proves, and, just as importantly, what it doesn't prove. And you really have to get this distinction because it's crucial. This system is not about prevention. It's not going to stop an authorized admin from deleting a file if they really want to. But what it will do is give you absolute, undeniable cryptographic proof that the file was deleted or changed, which would instantly break that chain of evidence and send that integrity score plummeting. So at the end of the day, the goal here is all about trust, built on this idea of tamper evidence. It's about being able to look at your records and know with mathematical certainty that what you're seeing is the original, unaltered history. That is the bedrock of trust this whole system provides. So why does all of this really matter? Let's connect this tech back to the real-world headaches of enterprise security and governance, because that's where you see just how valuable this really is. Provable integrity is, well, it's foundational. As you can see, the impact is huge. It means your forensic audits are now built on evidence you can actually trust. It makes your governance stronger because you have verifiable proof for compliance. It is a cornerstone for any zero-trust architecture. Never trust, always verify. And ultimately, it just fundamentally shifts the entire security paradigm. Look, if you take only one thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. For decades, security has just been about collecting massive, massive amounts of data. This technology represents the critical next step, proving that all that data is authentic. It's the move from just data quantity to provable data quality. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. In our digital world, if your data's history isn't provable, if it can be changed without anyone knowing, is it really history? Or is it just a collection of stories that anyone can edit? That's the question that Provable Integrity forces us all to answer.